Hi there, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Thanks for joining us on this week's edition of Silent Sunday Night on TCM. Tonight, from Japanese director Yasujiro Ozu in 1934, it's a story of floating weeds. Though Ozu is considered a giant of Japanese cinema today, his movies didn't reach Western audiences on the same scale as Japan's best-known mid-century director, Akira Kurosawa. Ozu's films were rarely seen outside of Japan. Unlike some other Japanese directors, particularly Kurosawa, Ozu's narratives and style were considered too Japanese, or to put it another way, not Western enough to merit worldwide distribution at the time. But in the years since his death in 1963, Ozu's films have found the international audience they deserve, and today he is almost always included among Japan's greatest filmmakers. Tonight's silent film was released in 1934, of course, long after most directors had moved on to talkies, even in Japan. But Ozu was still interested in telling stories without sound. The story of Floating Weeds centers around a traveling theatrical troupe. As the film begins, they arrive in a small mountain village where we soon learn the leader of the troupe has been before. Years earlier, it turns out he had a lover there. Together, they had a son. Ozu had made dozens of films by 1934, but for many fans of the director, this was the movie that established his voice as a filmmaker. The story is told in a clean and simple directing style, one Ozu would maintain and refine the rest of his career. From 1934, here is director Yasujiro Ozu's A Story of Floating Weeds.